The last piece of advice I have to share with you has to do with enjoying today. College students told me over and over in those emails, it goes fast. I wish someone would have reminded me to appreciate it, to enjoy it. And part of the advice that was related to enjoy today is remember why you're here. Enjoy it, have fun, remember why you're here. And sometimes people can only do one of those at the time. They know how to have fun. Woo! Ooh, that was a new sound I made. I've never made that before. Or they know how to focus, study. And the idea is how to create a recipe where you're doing both. If you don't have any fun at college, you won't last. You will bore yourself to death. 2 students died this week from boredom. Sorry, not really. That's not true. Okay. Some students are like, it's okay. And sometimes we forget why we came to college, why we come to this college. If you choose a 4-year liberal arts education, that is a different type of education than going to a 2-year technical college. This is not, my friends, job training. And a lot of people think they go to college so that they can get a job. Now, after you go to college, hopefully you can get a job. But this isn't the type of educational institution that is job training. That's what our technical college system is for. This type of education is about becoming an educated person. Primarily, we want you to come out of here knowing communication skills, like you didn't going in, and critical thinking skills, problem-solving skills that you didn't have when you went in. And if you're having fun is getting in the way of picking your education, that's too much. I mentioned the option of not going to class sometimes. What? Oh my gosh, I can't wait. You're gonna skip class. Here's what I insist that you do before you skip a class. Did anyone do the math like they were supposed to down here? What was it? 200. Okay, this is what I need you to do. You need to write a check to yourself for $200. You will not actually cash it because it might bounce. And you are gonna tape that somewhere that you can see near your bed. I had students take the out-of-state tuition cost. Tuition, room and board, books, all the associated costs that financial aid department here estimates, this is what it costs to go here. If you are getting in-state tuition, somebody else, the taxpayers, are paying the difference. Somebody is paying that part. You're not getting a discounted, you're not getting a less of an education. Someone is filling in that part. So we take the out-of-state amount, we divide that by 2 semesters. We divide that amount by 15 weeks, and then we divide that amount by 15 hours, 15 credits of class. And it turns out that if you do that math, it's $200. And so I am not here to tell you not to skip class. I'm here to ask you, when you wake up and you're not feeling good and you don't want to go to class, is it worth $200? I've been saying that and having orientation leaders calculate that number for a number of years. And I will tell you, I think it was actually one of this year's orientation leaders that said they remembered that so well, and there were several times when it got their butt to class. Again, sometimes you're going to say, yes, it's worth it. But if you think about it and you have to pay a taxpayer, your parents, yourself, that $200, there's probably a lot fewer classes you're going to skip, right? And so I'm insisting that you think about it. When it comes to enjoying today, but remembering why you're here, you have choices to make about alcohol, about drug use, about sex, and you remember the high school assembly speaker that says, don't do drugs, drugs are bad. Don't have sex, sex is bad. Don't drink, drinking's bad. Did you have that high school assembly speaker? And it turns out sex is great. You know, it turns out that for a lot of people, alcohol makes them feel better. They like how they feel when they're on drugs. I personally, actually, this is me. I'm not allowed to do alcohol or drugs, not because of some court order or anything. But this is my friends. This is me sober, okay? So my friends are like, yeah, no. I'm a really cheap drunk. Like a half a margarita, I'm like, "Ooh, I love you." Anyway, again, not in the script. We insist. In high school, we said, don't do this or you'll get in trouble. In college, we say this: if you choose to engage in this behavior, there are consequences. There are some consequences that we are going to give you, and there are some consequences that you need to understand that it will happen because of your behavior. And instead of saying to you, don't do this, we say to you, if you do this, this is the consequence if we catch you. These are some of the consequences that might happen even if we don't find out about the behavior you choose to engage in. And if you are not old enough, if you are not mature enough to, before you do something, understand the positive and negative consequences of that behavior, you are not old enough to do that behavior. Lots of college students drink without remembering that 2/3 of sexual assaults on college campuses involve alcohol or drugs. Almost all of the fatalities that college students, of driving fatalities, have to do with alcohol or drugs. You've heard those numbers, you've heard those lectures. I am reminding you to enjoy today and remember why you're here.